Hi gang, Rob here. A little different setting for my video this evening. It is 1 March 2013. I'm going to make this kind of a quick one. I'm actually driving home from work and I happened to turn on the radio and listen to the beginning of Sean Hannity's radio show. It was an audio collage of some sound bites from President Barack Hussein Obama in his travels over the last 24 hours or so, press conferences and little snippets of things he has said regarding the looming sequester, the budget sequester. I thought maybe I'd come on tonight and make a rant about his incompetence, about how the debt panel was assembled by him, their scope and their charge were given by him, their recommendations for deficit and debt reduction were rejected by a Senate controlled by his allies. And I was going to illustrate how that indicated incompetence on his part. And then I remembered something that I told people all throughout Obama's first term as president, and especially during last year's election season. I told people not to take our eye off the ball, not to get sucked into talking about Obama's competency, not to talk about his lack of effectiveness as a president, or even the error in his philosophy of how to solve the problems of America and build a brighter future for America, because none of that has anything to do with the problem with Barack Obama. I'm going to spell this out in as plain and clear of terms as I can. Nothing about Barack Obama's philosophy, his plan, his agenda for executing the responsibilities of President of the United States have anything to do with making this nation successful, making it great, making it better than it was when he took office. If you've done any research at all into what made the man Barack Obama who he is, if you've done any research at all about his the development of how he thinks, his educational background, his friends, advisors, and alliances during the years in which he formed his worldview, you will understand what I'm about to say. Barack Obama has absolutely no interest in fixing what's wrong with America. Barack Obama, because of his upbringing, because of his ancestry, because of the dreams of his father, as well as his alliances and education and the way that he thinks has been formed, he is motivated by one thing and one thing only: destroying the United States of America. He is an anti-colonial African. He is a progressive socialist. His agenda, cleverly disguised at this point, March 1, 2013, cleverly disguised as a president frustrated by the lack of effectiveness of everyone around him. He is a president who is right on course. Although the effects of the sequestration will not be as apocalyptic as he likes to make us think they are, he is banking on the fact that he can generate enough fear, enough chicken little mentality among the American people, that this financial budget apocalypse will be a self-fulfilling prophecy of doom, so that the United States can implode and he can blame everyone else for it, when in fact he engineered it. My fellow Americans, my fellow patriots, do not take your eyes off the ball. Barack Obama sits where he sits, doing what he does, to destroy America as it was founded and to destroy America as we remember it. And guys, we are right on course for where he wants to take us. And you can take this to whatever part of the freedom dynamic you specialize in. But the facts are, he's doing what he's doing. And the reaction that he is coaching us to have as Americans is exactly what we're doing. We need to stand firm, guys. We need to remind everyone we talk to the America we grew up in, the principles upon which it was founded, and the source of those principles. We find these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal and endowed with certain unalienable rights by their Creator, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Do not, my friends, do not let this president scare this nation into giving absolute control of our lives and the nation we are charged with governing to him and his allies. Now, whether you want to attack this from a civil rights standpoint, from a First Amendment standpoint, from a Second Amendment standpoint, they are all intertwined. Fellow patriots, no matter where you stand on specific issues, you need to stand together. You need to stand together as constitutional, faithful American patriots. And please, guys, let's not forget, let's dig deep into the history and understand where all this comes from. We don't believe these things just because we think they make sense. We believe them because we're Americans. We are descended from founders, from people who left Europe to find a place where they could worship the true and living God freely, and they could design a nation that allowed that worship, that allowed them to live lives that glorified Him freely. And so God provided that this democratic republic, with a government of the people, by the people, and for the people, could exist for these 200 and almost 40 years. Let us not be the generation who walked this earth, who lived in this free land when it disappeared. More to follow. But the time is now, fellow patriots. Time to get busy. Grace and peace. Have a good night.